You got fired and you didn't tell me?
Well, number one, I got fired on a riverbank while you were playing den mother to a cheerleading squad. Number two, I don't talk about problems till I have solutions. So when I find a solution, you and I'll discuss the solution, see if the problem solves. Is that okay? Honey, it's not 2008. I ain't trying to drink my problems away. I'm gonna solve this. I'm gonna solve it for you and for me and for the kids. You know, I've done a lot of shitty things in my life, I know, but I've never broken my word. So can you believe in that?
Believing in you is the one thing that I have no trouble doing.
Well, I can think of a few more, honey, but we'll talk about that later.
I love you.
All right, I love you too, sweetheart.
After taking over M-X Oil, Kami, in pursuit of high returns, decided to gamble millions of dollars and even mortgage the company's hard assets to push forward an offshore drilling project along the Louisiana coast. As a seasoned veteran who knows the ins and outs of the industry and has spent a lifetime in geology and oilfield operations, Tommy knew all too well that the odds of success in offshore drilling were slim to none. He repeatedly poured cold water on the idea, warning Kami that this kind of blindly leveraged gambling could very well drive M-X straight into bankruptcy. This dampening of enthusiasm completely soured Kami's mood. She felt Tommy had lost his edge and no longer possessed the drive to take big risks. This no longer aligned with the company's current direction. Thus, Kami ultimately decided to outright fire the veteran vice president of operations. After being ruthlessly fired, Tommy decided to become his own boss by founding an independent oil company. However, the road to building an empire from scratch proved far more difficult than expected. His first step was to reclaim the operating contracts that originally belonged to Cooper Oil. However, Nathan, representing his former company, believed this move violated standard agreements since his company had already funded the project. To gain vital leverage, Tommy presented a concrete counter-minus proposal, promising to return the entire massive investment to his former employer within a single day. After wrapping up business, the two began to chat casually, and Nathan mentioned that Kami asked him to drop by the office, suspecting that Kami might be coming after him next. Tommy, however, saw right through the move, predicting that Kami was simply trying to hand the presidency over to Nathan. Having successfully reclaimed the contracts, the most urgent crisis Tommy faced was raising Start-Up capital. He initially turned to long-time ally Bob, hoping to secure his financial backing as a partner in the new enterprise. Bob had to explain that as an executive of a publicly traded company, he was legally restricted from tapping into such massive funds at will. Realizing Bob was a dead end, Tommy wasted no time. Tommy immediately turned to industry titan Garino to seek investment. Facing a ruthless investor, Tommy showcased the very essence of high-stakes negotiation. He pointed out that Kami's current deep-water drilling gamble was not only extremely high-risk, but that she also lacked hands- on experience, meaning that if Garino backed her, he would end up losing everything. Tommy finally laid out his trump card, revealing that he currently controlled 6 high- producing wells and 20-8 prime, undeveloped tracts of land. This wild gamble successfully yielded a massive deal. Meanwhile, at his former company's headquarters, Kami arrogantly asked Nathan if he truly understood her intentions. Nathan merely offered a smile, telling Kami that Tommy had already informed him that her true goal was to make him president. Seeing that Nathan understood her motive and had shown up as requested, Kami assumed he had agreed to her proposal, but the executive unexpectedly rejected the presidency and instead tendered his resignation on the spot. After signing the multi-million dollar investment contract, Tommy tracked down Nathan, only to learn he had already resigned. An excited Tommy urged his loyal partner to immediately register their brand new enterprise, officially named CTT Oil Exploration and Cattle Company. Nathan was handed absolute financial control, tasked with managing the incoming millions. Without a moment's hesitation, after a series of high-stakes leverage plays and elite talent battles, Tommy's new oil empire was officially born. Tommy finally resolved his unemployment predicament, and he could at last lay it all out for his wife, Angela. After all, this time he didn't resort to heavy drinking and running away like he did back in 2008.